We just had the Africa Forward Summit, the French Africa Summit. And among the big conversation that I was pushing is for us as Africans to believe in ourselves and to stop the dependency thing that we believe that others owe us. Nobody owes us anything. You know? And I was explaining, for example, statistics, numbers tell us we have $4 trillion of savings in our pension funds, in our insurance companies, and in many other places. We haven't been able to mobilize these $4 trillion to work for us. And as a result, we are stuck with our own development because we are going to look for the savings of others to come and run our development. And we have to think outside the box. And I can proudly stand on this podium that we have mobilized our own resources to drive some of the fundamental development that we have undertaken in the last 3 years. Our own resources. We haven't borrowed from IMF, we haven't borrowed from the World Bank. We have driven our housing program. For example, a project that is now 600 billion with our own money. Yes. We have mobilized our own money. We are building Talanda City, not with borrowed money, with our own money. We are building Bomas with our own money. We are driving universal health coverage. I was looking at the numbers. In the last 1.5 years, we've paid 150 billion to our health facilities, our own money. Let us believe in ourselves. Let us believe in our country. That's what I tell the citizens of our nation. We can do it. We have the capacity to do it. Others are going to learn from us. Yes. I once asked a journalist, senior journalist friend of mine, why it is very rare to find a headline talking about some success. That always in the headline is about negative things, things that have gone wrong, something that has happened that is wrong. This journalist told me that, you see, bad news sells. Good news doesn't sell. Oh. So, when you read the headlines, just know that there are people who are doing their business. And for their business to succeed, they must write about bad news because that's how it sells. The bad news you read in the headline is not the whole story. It is the story to sell the newspapers. You will not see the good news in the headlines. And I have no doubt in my mind that it doesn't matter how many headlines are written that Kenya is going in the wrong direction. This country will never go in the wrong direction. This nation will never go in the wrong direction. Doesn't matter how many headlines say we are a failed state. Kenya is not and will never be a failed state. Because Deuteronomy tells us that we will never be the tail, we will always be the head. And so, I am persuaded beyond any reasonable doubt that this, our country, is a great nation. We have the duty and responsibility to make it great. And we will. And we shall. Prayer is not a ceremony. It is not the attire that we wear. It's not the buildings, churches, mosques. It's not all the regalia that accompanies it, including putting on a cross and all the other things. It is communication with God. And the Bible tells us it is impossible to do business with God if we do not have faith, if we don't believe in God. So we come to pray because we believe in God. And we believe in a superior being. That's why our Constitution, the first article of our Constitution says, God of all creation. Because we are a nation that believes in God. And so, as we are here today, we've come to pray because we believe in God. And I want to say, if we come to pray, we must believe in God. And if we believe in God, we must also believe in God's creation. And that is why we must believe also in ourselves. And we must believe in our country. We must believe in the power of prayer, you know. And I'm reminded of where we've been as a nation, the challenges we've come through as a nation. Today, we have many things to thank God for. Many. And I say so without fear of any contradiction. I remember, for example, in 2022, we had serious drought in our country. And some clergymen came and proposed to me that we need to pray. We went to Nyayo Stadium and we prayed. Many people. Said all manner of things. You know, look at these guys. Instead of planning on how to manage the drought, they have gone to Nyayo Stadium to pray. And worse, the president himself is there. But Mungu ni nani? I think the last 3 years, God has been gracious to our nation. The words of Deuteronomy 28 have become true for Kenya. God has given us rain in season. Our agriculture has thrived. Our food security has improved. Unga that was 250 is 100 shillings less today. Our coffee is doing well. Our tea is doing well. Our sugarcane is doing well. We have something to thank God for. and God answers prayers. And that is why I must tell us, as the people of Kenya, let us believe in God, let us believe in ourselves, and let us believe in our country. I had an opportunity to meet with our transport sector leaders last week on the fuel crisis. And I sat down with them for about maybe 2.5, 3 hours in Mombasa. And I explained to them where we were, what the issues are, and I took them back to 2022 when we had a similar crisis. And then we had long queues, people in jerrycans looking for fuel from one station to another. We had a serious crash on our dollars. We had a serious, in fact, the first team that I met when I was declared president was oil marketers, because we had a crisis. And I explained to them how, if we are reckless about subsidies, where the country went. In fact, for a whole year, we had to pay close to 150, 160 billion Kenyan shillings that had been used for subsidies without fuel. And I told them, we must be students of history and experience. We don't want to repeat mistakes. And I explained to them that today we have fuel in all our petrol stations, unlike other countries. Today, the Kenya government is subsidizing fuel. The actual price of diesel should be 273. It is 232. We're subsidizing 40 plus shillings for every liter. We've spent 28 billion shillings in the last 2 months. And we've done it with prudence. And I took them, when we finished, they told me, Mr. President, we are going to call off the strike. I did not tell them to call off the strike. They looked at the facts. I know many people say they were influenced this way and that way. Maybe they were, by facts of what the situation is. Yes. The most interesting part is when we finished and we stood up, they told me, Mr. President, pray. And I prayed. So, this is what it is. And this is who we are. Between now and the next elections, we will drive the transformation of this country. And we are going to have elections. And they will be peaceful. And there will be no violence. And they will be free and fair. Yes, they will be free and fair. Because what God has decided, no man can change. Yes, so relax. People are in a panic. I don't know. Ile Mungu ameamua ndio itafanyika. Yes. Si namna hiyo. Kama Mungu ameamua Ruto will get a second term, he will. Kama Mungu ameamua vingine, that's what will happen. And we will move on as a country. Yes. So relax. There's no problem. Those who believe they will divide this country, they will not. They will not succeed. They will fail, and fail spectacularly. They will not. Yeah. So, tulizeni boli, hakuna problem. Hii nchi iko sawa. Tasonga mbele. Kenya itafaulu. We will succeed. And we are a great nation, good people. If I had an option and I was given a chance which nationality to be born, I would want to be born a Kenyan. Yes, we have a great country. And just to assure everybody that we will move together, and we will build the bridges of friendship and brotherhood and succeed together. Asanteni sana, and God bless you.
Your Excellency, with your very kind permission, Parliament has developed a tradition, and there is a very persistent request